For years, I thought I lacked discipline. But it wasn't actually discipline, it was my nervous system. If you've ever wondered how some people actually follow through in their goals while you feel frozen, overwhelmed, or constantly behind, this is probably what's stopping you too. Because long-term goals ask a lot from us. And when your nervous system is dysregulated, those capacities is just not available, no matter how badly you want them. That's why in this video, I'll take you through the morning routine that's helped me take consistent action towards my goals, not by forcing myself, but by putting my mind and body into a state where focus and follow-through actually becomes possible, even on days when I really just don't feel like it. The first step is to wake up early enough to give myself enough time to tune in instead of immediately rushing into the day. When you find it hard to get up at the sound of your alarm, that's actually your first opportunity to listen. Instead of hitting snooze to acknowledge your tiredness, what if you practiced acknowledging the same feeling with a different response, one that is still gentle on your nervous system? Acknowledging doesn't always mean doing what the feeling wants. There are other ways to let your body know it's safe without letting the day decide it for you. These practices help me check in with my body. Sometimes unresolved emotions come up, but most of the time, it's simply noticing the sensations. I've designed my morning routine with set of actions that signals to my nervous system to prepare both my mind and body for focused action for the day. But before the day asks anything from me, I find it so important to ground myself in meaning and what I truly value. When I remind myself of what actually matters, my body doesn't stay on high alert all day. It gives my effort a direction instead of letting urgency run the show. Slowing down is essential for nervous system regulation, but in a fast-paced life, it's unrealistic to expect ourselves to be calm all the time. So instead of pressuring myself to be mindful all the time, I try to create small pockets where I can practice it. Regulating your nervous system isn't always about adding more. Sometimes it's simply being mindful of how you transition from one thing to the next. One of the biggest misconceptions about nervous system regulation is that it's just about calming down. In reality, it's actually about training your system to switch effortlessly between calm and action. This has always been my favorite part of the morning. In fact, I don't think I've ever missed a day of doing this since my daughter came into my life. Taking the time to take our loved ones in, to get some snuggles in before the day pulls us apart from each other, turns out to be one of the most powerful things we could do to regulate our nervous system. Temperature is one of the fastest ways to shift your nervous system, but the idea of doing cold exposure first thing when I wake up was more stress-inducing than helpful. So now, I only add it after I've established a sense of safety. I know technically you should have a high-protein breakfast within an hour of waking, but I find having the bone broth earlier was enough to tie me over until I can eat breakfast with my daughter. And once we do, I make sure that it is high in protein.
Broccoli monster.
Now it's time to walk my daughter to school. This is the perfect time to get some fresh air and whatever sunlight winter allows. Usually, by this point, I really am prepared for the day ahead. I knew this routine was working when I noticed what happened when I skipped it. Discipline always felt heavier, setbacks hit harder, and it usually takes a lot more effort for me to stay committed to my goals. But when I start my day this way, follow through feels less like self-control and more like capacity. So, if you've been trying to achieve your goals without first supporting your nervous system, this might be the shift you've been missing, so you can keep coming back to creating your dreams with more energy and the ability to stay in it for the long run.